Hello again, Struckpop. Welcome back to my channel, to my stream. Today a little late because I was busy with more apartment stuff, but I did also manage to squeeze in some time to record and make a video about the Diablo 4 recently announced yesterday beta coming next month. And here I am finally streaming with Pharaoh, a new era, which is a remake of a game that I used to play back in the day, in the good old days, around 1999 when Pharaoh first came out and eventually the Cleopatra expansion. One of the classic city builders that's kind of like a successor to Caesar, the Caesar city builder was the first one of that series. Then they made Pharaoh with the Egyptian rather than Roman setting. I wonder if Triskio Interactive, the people who made Pharaoh A New Era, are planning on remaking Caesar. If this one is successful, I don't see a reason not to remake the predecessor of this one. If I got my facts straight, it was first Caesar then Pharaoh. If it's the other way around, then apologies, but I guess I should have just checked. But if memory serves me right, I did play Caesar first, and eventually after that, the rest of the stuff. Okay, let's just not touch the settings. Let's leave them the way they are, and start my first map. Scenario, campaign, whatever. Create a family. The struck up, obviously. Oh, there are no space bars. Okay, the House of Struck. Where is the Gandalf? There is no Gandalf. There is no fellow with a beard. I find it hard to believe there is no fellow with a beard, but okay. Let's go flashy guy with the golden thingy. Although this one is flashy guy. Let's just pick this one. Campaign, mission selection, vote. Okay, let's just do campaign. I wanna show the campaign. See how they've remade it. Nope. The nope. Village is reborn. 6 level 0. Wait, what? 6 times level 03. 6 meager shanties. Wait, what? 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 Just a moment. Just a moment. My window. I tried to move it and it fucked up. Why is it not letting me move the game window? What the hell? Just a moment. There is something extremely wrong. I can't access the game window to move it. I think I know why that is. Just a moment. I need to.
Welcome to ancient Egypt, land of the pharaohs. Here you'll participate in the history of one of the greatest civilizations the world has ever seen. In an epic
Just a moment, I need to
spans
change
more than
the
15
stuff because it's
centuries
fucked
and
up the
2 dozen
resolution when I try to move the. I tried to
You
move
must lead
the.
one family, generation by generation, from its earliest beginnings in Egyptian prehistory, through the dawn of civilization, to the establishment of a unique and powerful empire and
I think the
beyond.
biggest problem was this thing.
Our story begins
When this was
more than
switched on, I
5,000
couldn't move
years
my
ago,
game window.
along the banks of the Nile River in an area
Now it
known
should be
as
fine.
Nut. Here,
Okay, I don't care about the story. I can read it in Wikipedia or whatever. Housing. Lots of housing. It's even telling me where. Good old tutorials. No road access. It's probably gonna want me to make some. It's telling me exactly where. I like idiot-proof tutorials. Man, you can play this game in glorious 4K if your system supports it. I definitely like the improvements, the visual improvements. I wonder if they changed any of the game mechanics and stuff. It's been decades since I last played the game, so I barely have any recollection of the important stuff. Was there plus minus 1, 2, 3? How do I what's the hotkey for this? There's gotta be a hotkey. Access to water. Oh yeah, I remember that. Quality of life. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've got housing and water. They obviously need more than that. Here's where hunting comes in play. Workforce access. Finally. Bazaars. Green arrow shows where the building will spawn its walkers and where it will take deliveries of goods. The red arrow shows the point of return for distributors coming out of this building. Sometimes both points are on the same tile. The points might change when you build new roads next to existing buildings. You can check them at any time by simply hovering your cursor on the structure you want to verify. Why so far away? Distributors, whether they distribute goods or services to houses, roam the road of your city for a time and then come back to their building. During their walk, when they reach a crossroad, they can take either direction. To avoid distributors getting lost where you don't want them to go, don't build a road network with too many intersections. This is also true for recruiters, so place your buildings accordingly. So this is where it gets a little complicated. if you want efficiency. I wonder if the music is copyright safe in the game. One of the tools at your disposal to control the walkers is the roadblock. Roadblocks prevent distributors and recruiters from going through, but let other walkers with a set destination pass. Use roadblocks wisely and you'll be able to manage gigantic cities. Fire and collapse risks. Oh, I remember having so much trouble with fires back in the day. Don't catch fire or collapse on themselves. Not all buildings are prone to risks. The best way to tell if one will need to be visited by either an architect from an architect post or a fire marshal from a firehouse is to click on it and open its panel info. Houses, for example, will catch fire if not attended to, but will never collapse on themselves. Access to clean water. Now that they have food, villagers need access to clean water from a water supply, which is much preferred over wells water. Water supplies must be built on grassy areas and also need access to employees in nearby housing. Once up and running, a water supply will dispatch a water carrier to deliver buckets of clean drinking water to all the houses in its immediate vicinity. This is where start building this stuff. I guess this one works. And Addison Ardley just followed me on Twitch. Welcome back to Addison. Hope you enjoy your stay here. Nice having you on my channel, on my stream. How's it going? Hi to you too. Let's see, what should I make? Maybe reach 6 meager shanties. Okay, let's just increase the speed a little. Sturdy hut, so we can select huts, no fire risks.
These goods will make welcome additions to the bazaar.
Which goods? Let's see. How's the stream going? Oh, the stream is going nice. I've just started a little late today, but that's fine. In my new apartment, I can stream at whatever times I want. So even if I start late, I can just keep the stream going for later. Been busy just making a video about Diablo 4's beta. Finally found some time to make it today. Do you only play this game or a variety? I don't play just this game. Currently, I'm more of a variety person, testing stuff. But when Diablo 4 launches, Diablo 4 will occupy probably 80-90% of my content. So until Diablo 4, right now I'm dabbling in whatever I think is fun or could be fun. I didn't used to be a variety person. I used to stream 2-3 games. I used to stream Torchlight 3, which was known as Torchlight Frontiers back in the day, and then eventually Warhammer Chaos Bane. And those were my two main games. And then eventually I would stream for a little around its launch, Wolsen, until I got severely disappointed by the developers' approach. But yeah, Diablo 4 will be my next main game. Because at least Diablo 4 I know won't get abandoned like it happened with Torchlight and Warhammer Chaos Bane. So normally, my favorite types of games are Diablo style wooters, hack and slash, isometric wooters, but I don't mind playing city builders like this one. And I've played this one long ago when I was a teenager. I used to play Caesar and then Pharaoh, then Cleopatra. Next mission. I think this might be broken here.
After many years and the
You
passing
do
of a
custom
generation,
artwork.
your family has resettled in the area
You're
of
not the first
East,
person to
in
come to
Upper
my
Egypt.
channel
Here, a
to
small
tell me
band
that.
of local rulers
There's been
is
a lot of
attempting
people
to
coming to
extend
my
its
channel
influence over
trying
Lower Egypt and all
to
lands
advertise
along the River
their
Nile, and to
hustle,
unite this
and there's
realm under
nothing
its
wrong
own
about
house
that.
with
Everyone
one
has to do
supreme
their
leader.
hustle. Currently my budget
Establishing
is
Guinness as a thriving city
it
like
doesn't
nothing
exist.
ever seen before
I've got
will
a
prove
non-existent
the worthiness
budget
of the Thinite
for
Confederacy
artwork,
and
so
help them
everything
gain
I do
supremacy
myself
over Lower Egypt
when
and
it
the
comes
other
to artwork.
factions vying
It
for
might be
power.
ugly, but it gets the job
In
done.
time, this will mean providing the population with
So I'm not the right
entertainment
person to
and
try to
building
get to
wonderful
see your work.
temples
Even if
to
I see
worship
your
the
work, even
region's
if I
patron
like your
deity.
work,
To build a city this grand will
I'm
require a
extremely
substantial
swarmed
supply
with
of
various expenses. Like I've just moved a couple of days ago in a new apartment, and now I have to pay rent. And before I didn't have to pay rent, and a whole bunch of other things. So I just don't have the budget to hire people to make art for me. For now, I make it myself to the best I can. Maybe after a few months, maybe after a year, then I might be able to hire your services. But for now, probably best to try someone else. Start to lay down your housing and provide your people with fresh water and food the same way you did it in Nupt. Okay, housing, water. Let's do it. How do I? Okay, there we go. It. Why doesn't it let me? Let's make a granary. Let's select this one. And let's speed it up. Speed management and key binding. Yeah, what's the key binding for this? I noticed the speed management. I can't remember the hotkeys. Where is the speed? Speed, 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 speed. Page up, page down. I think I might have built too many houses. I'm gonna make a second bazaar just so I can have some stuff. Managing the treasury. Each structure you place costs costs debens, not counting what you will spend to pay the workers' salaries. One way to make back that money is to mine gold. Place at least 2 gold mines near veins of ore, so you can start producing. So you can start production of this precious metal. Make sure they have access to the workforce and don't forget to protect them against co-ops risks. Mm. Powers. Gold is a special resource that is stored in the palace. Unique building that also vaults the city's treasury. You can only build one palace and it must be constructed on grassy areas. Each gold carrier reaching your palace will add 100 diamonds to the city funds. With this regular income, you should not have to worry about debt. And where is my palace? Crime. Okay, let's make a police station. Where was the police station? Over here? Let's put one here. And Alison Parker R02, thank you very much for the follow on Twitch. Welcome to the Struck Club to you. Hope you enjoy your stay here. Should I do some blockers? Hmm. Okay, what new buildings can I make? Open the overlay menu on the left panel. Overlay menu. Left panel. Ah, this one. And I'm assuming crime. Time is the only challenge you will face. Health can cause problems and decimate your citizens. Physicians patrolling a neighborhood will protect its inhabitants from diseases. Providing your population with food and fresh water will also reduce the risks of diseases. Other structures will help your citizens' health going forward. The apothecary will protect houses against malaria in cities with marshes nearby. Place a physician to protect your citizens from diseases. Is it still in the same place? Physician. Religion. An Egyptian city cannot truly flourish without suitable places of worship in the form of religious temples and shrines dedicated to one of 5 gods. The patron god of Tinis is Bast. Is the gods built enough temples and shrines dedicated to each of them to serve your current population? A working temple sends a priest through nearby neighborhoods, granting residents access to the worship of his god. In addition to their religious effect, shrines and temples also provide a good amount of desirability for houses nearby. Shrines can be built one tile away from roads and still function properly. Festivals, both patron gods and walk-up deities can become hostile if not shown the respect due their positions. First, you need to make sure you have enough temples and shrines for your current population. Patron gods will require twice the amount. Festivals are another way to appease the gods. Build a festival square in the city to unlock the possibility of holding a festival. What said no road access? This one. Where can I build a festival? Must be built on a crossroad. Consult the overseer of the temples to determine the status of each of the gods in any particular city, and whether the gods are sufficiently appeased. Lightning bolts indicate that the god is feeling hostile towards your city, while a blue mystic symbol indicates that the god is feeling benevolent towards your city. The more you see of either, the more likely your city is to feel the god's presence. For better or worse, there are different overseers available on the left bar to help you govern the city. Check which one. Let's see. I don't remember this from the original. Maybe it has been so long ago and I was so young that I didn't pay attention to things like those. Look at all the stuff that's here. Yeah, I'm liking all the advanced stuff here. I definitely didn't pay attention to stuff like that when I was a child playing the original game. I can speed up time. Yeah, sure I can. Ah shit, I closed without reading. Reach ordinary cottages to win the mission. Jaguar School. Okay. Next mission. Perwajit. And level 7 houses and 600 population.
The Thinite nobles still struggle to unite the lands of the Nile under one supreme ruler. To aid them, that you will endeavor to establish a thriving community at Perwajit, in the humid delta region of Lower Egypt, thus spreading their influence throughout the length of the sacred river. To support a population larger than that of a village, you must learn to use agriculture.
Just pouring
Egyptian
myself some
farmers have
water.
begun to exploit the rich, fertile soil deposited by the annual inundation of the Nile River for growing crops. The Nile can be hazardous, however. Many dangers lurk along its banks and in its waters, such as deadly crocodiles, hippopotamuses,
Oh yeah,
and
tell me about those
malaria-carrying
fucking
mosquitoes.
Used to hate them before. I think I've disabled those from the options, but probably in this mission they will exist. Or maybe I've disabled other beasts. Food plains and farming. To feed your people in Perwajit, you must build farms directly on the food plain in order to gain the benefits of its increased fertility. Unlike most working structures, farms on the food plain do not need direct access to employees, but do need a steady workforce of peasant laborers supplied by work camps to tend their fields. Build work camps fairly close to food plain farms, so peasants won't have to walk too far to reach them. Each year the Nile floods its banks, replenishing the depleted soil on the food plain with rich, fertile mud. Peasants harvest the annual crop just before the inundation and deliver it to your granaries. Because there is only one harvest per year, make sure your city has enough granaries to store a sufficient amount of food for your growing population. And what is called a food plain farm? Is it this area here, the marshland? Wait, what? I'm not sure I understand how this works. Let's block them off. Okay. Let's make another juggler boot around here. Let's make a festival. The Wavish Festival. And Antico says hello there. Would it be possible to move your cam to the lower left corner? Left, my left, or which left? This one, this one? Which one? Like that side? 'Cause this is my left. That's my left, that's my right. I'm trying to avoid this. This is this on that side. There is a bed, so I'm trying to avoid it getting, and there's the heater. Trying to avoid this going on the stream. And then over there, there is a wall and a bunch of stuff that you don't need to see on the stream. That's why I've positioned the camera in such a way. Oh, you want to move the camera window? Aha. This is surely something I can do. Just a moment. This way. Yeah, that one would work. Thanks for asking. Thanks for asking. I mean, I'm always happy to move the camera when a game is different than the other games I play, and it requires to be placed in a different way. Sometimes upper left, sometimes upper right corner is good, sometimes one of the bottom corners. Sometimes I don't even put it in the corner, but slightly under, so I'm not covering any user interfaces. I didn't pay much attention to the user interface of this game, which is on me, I guess. But thanks for the feedback. How's it going? We're preparing a festival. Start building your city along with some farms and work camps. I did build farms and work camps, but I don't know how to get them to get to the farm, my people. Mawaria. Local apothecary. Where is the physician? Let's put some physicians first. Hmm. Okay. Maybe let's remove one of those things here and put a shrine. You're enjoying the stream and the game. Yeah, this game was part of a series of games. I think it was in order of appearance Caesar, then Pharaoh, and then Pharaoh and its Pharaoh's expansion Cleopatra. This game Pharaoh came in 1999, and this is the remake with updated graphics, even 4K. And they've touched some of the mechanics, but since I've played it so long ago, I can barely remember anything from the original. I mostly played Caesar and eventually I played these games Cleopatra more than I played the base game. It's still nice that someone is giving some of those forgotten games some loving. The publisher name is .emu, and .emu are famous recently for taking old school games. They even funded the Shredder's Revenge new game, the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game, if I'm not mistaken. So that .emu are trying to be necromancers, the game industry necromancers, and reviving certain old school games. Upgrading your housing. Yes, we are upgrading the housing. Osiris, god of now food, blesses this city for its sincere devotion. All farms on the food plain will harvest double what they had expected this season. I still don't know if the farms are even working in the first place. The houses keep upgrading. There's some predictions. What else should I build? I'm not sure. Those fig farms. Not sure how it works. I'm not seeing anyone going into those farms. I guess we have to wait for September as the in-game month before they can harvest that stuff. I don't see this resource. Let's add more jobbers. How do I keep upgrading the houses? By building good stuff around them, I guess. And there's two next to each other. Okay, let's remove that one. Maybe instead we can put and the houses keep getting better and better and better. Should I make an... Oh no, I can only have one palace. What if I make another granary just in case? Oh, and we need architects and stuff near those buildings. What else can I do to improve stuff? How do I upgrade the house? Supply food from a Wako bazaar. The bazaar is right next to it. So we need to wait for the fix. Once we have the fix, the houses would start evolving. So we need to wait for the month to switch to September. And once it's September, they can start getting stuff in the farms, collect it, bring it to the granaries, bring it to the bazaars, and then the houses will upgrade to the next tier and we can win the mission. That seems to be the stuff, I think. Unless we messed up, we might have messed up the farms. Okay, let's go back to the farm interface. I can only build them here in those areas. And I built plenty. Yet it's not collecting the fix. For whatever reason, it refuses to collect the fix. Why can't I build roads in all the places? Could that be the problem? I'm not sure I understood exactly how the farms work. I don't remember it being that way. Well, okay, let's get to the next September. See what's gonna happen then. Yeah, this one is close to a granary. Can make the next granary up there. Let's maybe add some more of that. What does it say about this farm? So something's wrong with the farms. I cannot figure out how to make them work properly. Let's look it up. Farms. Not grain farm. I need the other one. Fig farm. FFF. Not here. Food farm maybe? Only there was a search. Maybe if I click the farm there will be... Okay. Understand the now stages every year, usually between June and September, the now foods its banks. The food plains are completely submerged and nothing can be placed on the land. Humans the now begins to recede, leaving nutritious silt behind that fertilizes the soil. The food plains re-emerges and you can again operate farms on the food plain. Now does not food at exactly the same time or in exactly the same way every year. Some foods are better than others. Please use niometer to determine how good. Okay. Chief Overseer. Osiris God of Agriculture and the now Foods religion can help ensure successful foods every year. You can farms and roads and irrigation ditches. I cannot build irrigation ditches yet. With no buildings because the food destroys any buildings on the food plain. Since they can't build homes on the food plain farms, peasants need a place to meet and okay, and that's where work camps come. Yeah, I made plenty of them. And I make them pretty close. So the best time to build farms is soon after the food recedes. Okay. So in theory, I've done everything the way I should, but in practice, something's preventing me from earning fix. Whatever that something might be. I'm at a loss right now for words. I don't know how to explain this bullshit. I don't remember annoying things like that back in the day when I played the original game. So here it is, the food is getting completed soon. And you see it? Those workers, they just refuse to do stuff. Maybe there aren't enough people. Right, I'll make more houses near the worker camps. Maybe that's the way to do it. Hopefully this actually gets things going. But yeah, I'm not seeing anyone going to work on the farm, and it's like I'm stuck. Big time stuck. That is why the glitch says Boyku Borisu Simulator Edition Delegation. How's it going? Satisfy the Grudge. Welcome back. Did you pre-order Diablo 4? Are you gonna be playing on the early access beta weekend? If yes, any specific class you're planning on tests or classes that you wanna test during the beta weekend? I'll try to test at least 2 or 3 classes during the beta, and before the beta I'll try to make some builds that I want to try. I'll try to make some theory crafted builds that I plan on testing during the beta. You always make me laugh. Sure thing, yeah. I love being made to laugh, let's put it that way. Fun is good, fun is nice. Laughter is a good thing, and this game is making me laugh with how broken the stupid farms are. What am I supposed to do? We can't earn stuff if we're not producing stuff. And my workers refuse to go in the fucking farm. Is something happening that I'm not seeing? See, there's the foot. But nothing is growing. You play Dwarf Fortress and Hades sometimes. No plans for games, only 4,000 esoteric pagan science. Lots of work and chores. Wait, what do you mean by 4,000 esoteric pagan science? Is that some sort of a project that you're working on? Is that like a dissertation or something? 4,000 pages is a what? What the hell is making you write or read or whatever 4,000 pages of pagan science? That sounds super weird. Is that some sort of university project or work project? Yeah, you're just reading it. But what about Diablo 4? Aren't you a Diablo style player? I mean, next month we have 2 weekends of Diablo 4. One weekend for people who pre-ordered and one weekend for everyone. So even if you didn't buy the game, the second weekend you'll be able to play it. Shadow government stuff. Well, shadow government stuff is definitely fun. It's fun to read about that. Thing is, the real information is not out there. So whatever it is you're reading is probably not not the actual real stuff. Maybe getting close to it, but we can only imagine what the real stuff is and how shadow governments and stuff work. I mean, we can kind of guess it and guesstimate it and predict it, but yeah, when you look at some of the politicians, and not just our country but overseas as well, most of them seem like fucking puppets, just hired actors to play the part. Um, and it's even worse when you consider America, where they have Republicans and what was the other one, and Democrats. They have those two parties, but whoever controls both parties is probably the same thing. I don't want to say person because it's unlikely to be the one person, but it's probably a lot of people. But yeah, all that stuff we can only guesstimate what it is, and there's the illusion of having a difference of picking one side or the other, but the boss of both sides is probably the same thing. Most likely the World Bank, because the World Bank has grabbed everyone by the balls, and the World Bank are the ones that have so much power right now. But there are some minor differences between picking one or the other. Look at our country. It's our country politics is a fucking circus. I don't know who is controlling our politicians. Most likely the USA nowadays. I think our politicians broke ties with the Russians, thankfully. If we're gonna have masters, I'd rather our politicians serve America than Russia. Let's put it that way. but but who is the big bosses? I can only guess. I'm thinking too plain. I'm trying to make it sound easier to understand to people. Obviously, it's much more complicated than I made it sound. But yeah, there's all sorts of propaganda going on everywhere, and that shadow warfare or whatever, shadow tactics or whatever you want to call it. Such as, for example, the whole woke movement that since the Cold War, since the 80s, Russians have been trying to destabilize the USA by finding ways to to make the population of the USA hate each other and argue with each other. And the woke movement was the best thing to create, to make people. What was the opposite of being united? To divide and conquer. I mean, it's a fucking strategy since time has ever existed. Divide and conquer. And I guess Putin or whoever the boss of Putin is, um, since the Cold War, that's been their tactic to try and um, and provide some ways for the people in the USA and in Western countries in general to be divided and to start hating each other based on all sorts of things under the pretext of racism and homophobia and all of that, to try and just make people be divided. And it's unfortunate that in the US it's working in such a nice way. People are just getting divided and more divided every year. I don't think America has been this divided since the Civil War times. I'm glad I'm not living there. where cops are shooting people, where people were shooting each other. I mean, oh boy. I don't want to talk about politics in my stream, but every now and then I guess we might deviate from the matter at hand, which is games, and talk about this stuff. Let's see. I know, I think the game is bugged. I think the game is bugged right now. It's telling me keep upgrading your houses. When I click on a house, it needs to supply food from a local bazaar, and I have local bazaars everywhere, like here. But the bazaars are not getting fixed, and I cannot get fixed until the fucking farms start working. But the fucking farms refuse to take workers from the worker camps, and I've placed plenty of worker camps. Well, we're past the age. We're past the age of empires. When I'm speaking about the real world, we're past the time where countries would be empires, where that imperialistic behavior is a normal behavior, where you try to occupy other people's land. Now they do it like the USA. They try to take your petrol. They try to make civil wars, like in some Middle Eastern countries and so on, where they change the governments to governments that would listen to the USA. So that they have control over the petrol. And the Russians tried to do the same with Ukraine, but Ukraine didn't want to give their ass, which I admire them for that. I'm a big fan of standing up to the Russians and not giving your resources and lands to the greedy bastards, to the orcs. And this is something that not many people would want to. But what was the European Union and the Western world doing several years ago when the Russians did their first attempt, successful at that, at taking over some chunks of Ukraine? Why didn't anyone say anything back then? Why were they so fucking late? I guess it took some government changes in the Ukraine for them to actually say no to the fucking Russians. And many people, I'm reading so many uneducated and stupid comments on the internet, where people don't realize why the USA is helping there, why the European Union is helping there. America has never had such a good opportunity to use someone as a proxy to stick it to Russia, because Russia apparently wasn't as strong in military as most people thought they are. And now America has a good opportunity to use Ukraine as a proxy to stick it to Russia. But the people that are suffering from all of this are Ukrainians, and the young Russians that are being sent to war that they don't want. So young Ukrainians and Russians are suffering because Putin is a greedy imperialistic pig, and because the USA is using this opportunity to try and win some points over Russia. It's fucking stupid. Everyone is suffering because of one crazy madman. It's super stupid. Yeah, they sell the village, the people from the villages, people who are extremely poor, and young men from the small villages and stuff. They're not selling developers. They're not gonna take developers working on games and programs and software and stuff like that. They're not gonna send scientists and doctors. They're gonna send young men and even fucking local drunks from the small villages, from the countryside in Russia. Those are being sent as fucking what's it called, meat shields. They're sending them as fodder, as meat shields, pointlessly dying. This is stupid. War has always been stupid. And war has always had atrocities done on both sides. I guess in this case it's mostly the Russians doing them, only the Russians maybe even. I can't say, I'm not there to witness. But back in the day, when it was the medieval ages, war was something terrible in terms of atrocities. And Russians now are doing the same atrocities that have been done back in the day: pillaging, looting, raping, on top of the usual murdering. I understand why some crazy people are greedy to have a few more millions and a few more billions. Don't they have fucking enough? I could never understand this mindset, the imperialistic mindset. We need more, we need more, more, more. When in theory, people can live with way less that they do. When it comes to those rich people, politicians and stuff. I don't know what's happening with the stupid game. Why is it stuck? Uh, why aren't the farms working? It's been already a few ages, and it just I think it might be broken. I think this tutorial is most likely broken. Wait, do I need a water source right next to it? Doesn't seem like I need a water source. I mean, it's getting fooded, so I doubt it needs a water source. And again, I cannot upgrade my houses. So the biggest problem is the local bazaar and the farm. The farm refuses to actually work, and the bazaar cannot get food from the farm. I don't remember this game being this broken back in 1999 and in the 2000s, actually, when I played Cleopatra. So whatever they did to this tutorial is broken. Although, if we gotta be honest, if Russia didn't have nuclear weapons, they would have been overtaken long ago. Because we saw the terrible state their military is in right now. The only trump card that Russia apparently has is their fucking nuclear weapons. That's the only thing that's making them a threat. Because we saw how bad their military is. Both the regular soldiers and the commanders. Good job to Ukraine for standing firm and defending for almost a year already against the orc invasion. So if they didn't have nuclear weapons, believe me, they would have been invaded by China, USA, or whoever else wants a chunk of that land. I think the game is broken. I don't see this mission ending. It's stuck. And my depth in the game is growing and growing and growing because my farm are not growing. Here is a worker camp. It says no workers live nearby. How many more houses do I need to build? Is that the problem, that we need more population? I mean, I have 1,300 people. I don't think we need more population than that. But okay, let's fill all the empty spots with more houses. Let's make some more houses here. Let's make some more houses there. Needs more pylons. Gotta enjoy the Protoss reference. See, there is the food. But again, laborers are not reaching my farm. They, for whatever reason, cannot reach it because it's refusing to connect the food land with the water. Am I missing some sort of a button that I need to click for ditches? I don't know. Something's terribly wrong. This is the food plane farming. I don't know. This is broken. I don't know how to do this shit. I'm gonna try and surround them with as much road as I can. Maybe this way. Maybe this way it will work. I think I might be able to finally get it to work. I think this will work finally. Can I rotate the camera? Please tell me it will work now. Please tell me it will work. Come on. Ah, finally they started working. But why can't I connect certain places? That means I can maybe remove some of those farms here and try and connect stuff. Can I connect it that way? Okay, I can finally build it. Finally. I think I managed to get those farms working. Your sense of perfect alignment is very hard, right? Yeah, that's because of the way the game wants me to play stuff. It's gonna trigger some OCD stuff. Defeat. Obviously, it's gonna be a defeat when it was this difficult to connect the stupid farms. Well, it's already midnight, a little late. I've been very busy today with all sorts of things, cooking, tidying, arranging stuff. My apartment currently is still a mess. The new apartment that we moved in with Sky to rent. Thankfully, Sky is bit by bit no longer stressed and shocked. The first couple of days were extremely shocking for him, but at least he's back to normal now. But yeah, this game, I don't remember it being that strange and that difficult to figure out how to get things done in the tutorial campaign missions. But probably playing regular scenarios would be the way to go. But I still suggest doing the missions to learn the mechanics because it teaches you those. But if you've played the original, you probably like the new one, but I can't guarantee that because I can't know if people have recently played the original or whether they have not played it for like 20 years like me and barely remember anything. In my case, I needed the refresher course that the campaign offers, but it didn't really help me much. And you saw I was stuck for several years in the game trying to figure out why my farms are not working. And it was just because the roads just don't want to connect everywhere. You can't connect the road to every shoreline coastline you want to. You have to pick the exact specific coastline the game wants you to pick to connect the road. Otherwise, they can't reach the stupid farms. What is Sky Rent? Sky Rent? What Sky Rent do you mean? You mean the rent of the apartment we moved in? My brother has a kid. His wife gave birth last month, and I have a nephew. And I moved out from that apartment and found a new place so that later when the kid grows up, he can use that room as they can use that room for the kid. And the apartment where me, my brother, and his wife were living in was my mother's apartment, and she doesn't live in the country. She lives abroad, so I wasn't paying rent, nor were they. And now I have to pay rent, and now it's gonna be difficult. Thankfully, Diablo 4 is launching soon, so hopefully more people would be watching my content, so I can start making a living through content. Hopefully. I promise I'll be making some build videos very soon for Diablo 4 before the beta, so that when the game launches, you would have some skeletons to try and test, and I'll try to test as many of those as I can. but there's barely any time left until the beta, so I'm not sure if I'll be able to make everything I want, but I will try to make at least 2 builds per class. 5 classes. I'll try to make 10 builds before the beta, and after that I'll try growing those builds with version 2.0, 3.0, and so on, like I've been doing with Torchlight and with Chaos Bane. When I start a build based on an idea, based on a synergy. For example, I want to make a trap shadow damage build with the Rogue. Why do I want to make a trap shadow damage build with the Rogue? Well, I'll show you why. Just a moment. Let's open my document with the information, and Shadow Rogue, Shadow Damage Rogue. Just a moment. Let me move my camera a bit. So Shadow Damage Rogue would be very good in my opinion. Where was it? So traps. Death trap is the trap. So if you use imbue weapon shadow, which is a great skill in my opinion, imbue weapon shadow, and if you combine that with death trap, where is it? I'm trying to find it. Death trap, this one. This one is super good damage. Then you have Shadow Clones. If that trap kills an enemy, its cooldown is reduced by 10 seconds. Enemies are put into that trap when it activates. So you place a trap, it arms later, and then it activates when an enemy moves nearby. And that's strong by itself. Then you have other things like exposure, which works well with traps. Then you have stealth, which you could use. And again, Dark Shroud, definitely nice. Gives you damage reduction per active shadow. So very well with the shadow stuff. Weapon mastery is pretty solid. And with that and traps, you could either go daggers, swords, bows, crossbows. It doesn't fix you to a specific weapon. But Shadow Step is amazing. Shadow Step is amazing. And from those core and basic skills, there's many options that could work. Many of them. But as you can see, all of them here are physical. But with the imbue, physical turns into shadow, so you could still play with all of them. You're saying playing Blizzard games seems like a very toxic relationship. It's not gonna be just the provoke. It's gonna be the first act, the whole first area. This first area. Let me show you the screenshot, the image. This area. So this is pretty much the areas in Diablo 4. The starting areas when the game launches. You would have Fractured Peaks, Dry Steppes, Cosglen, Kyrgyzstan, and Hawazar. And Fractured Peaks will be the first one. You don't have to do them in the exact same order the game wants you to. Yeah, Fractured Peaks is the first one, and it's considered Act 1. But if you want, you can do after Fracture Peaks, you can do this one instead of that one or that one or that. You can do you can do them in any order from what they have told us. So this area will be in the beta, and it will be limited up to level 25 out of 100. You start earning Paragon points at level 50. So between level 50 and 100, you earn Paragon points. But having access to all the side quests and all the main quests in this area, including all the dungeons, there are 150 dungeons, more than 150 dungeons in all those 5 areas. So there's probably going to be 10, 15, 20 dungeons at least in Fractured Peaks. And dungeons are a semi-end game activity. First, you can do them regularly, and that's not end game. But then eventually you start finding some keys. The old name used to be Keys. The new game is Nightmare CGUs, and the Nightmare CGUs are like maps. They're like a map modifier that you use when you enter that dungeon, and it gives the dungeon modifiers, and then you can redo that dungeon and modified by those nightmare CGUs, which could be making it harder, more rewarding. It could make all the enemies invisible, or it could make the dungeon have two bosses at the very end. So overall, that's why I say semi end game. Um, but the real end game would be the equivalent of a bounty system. I will make videos about that, explaining those activities properly and so on. I mean, I have made some videos with older information, but now I have newer information. But yeah, fractured peaks. I'm not sure you can even see it on the screen. Can you see it on the screen? You can't. This is fractured peaks. This is Coast Glen, Dry Steps, Kyrgyzstan, and Hawazar. When I was talking earlier, I was referring to those 5 areas. So this is the area that will be available. But yeah, I want to make some builds, and I want to make at least 2 builds for every class before the beta. And if I have enough time, I will try to test those builds. You're actually interested in one RPG. Which one RPG? If you haven't played it, you might want to try Superfuse. Superfuse, I think it's a little bit expensive for what it offers as an early access game, but it has a lot of potential if they don't ruin it. But yeah, I'll have to stop the stream now. So thanks for stopping by to everyone. I will actually start working on this document to finish my barbarian part of this document you're seeing on the screen. So keep it cool until next time, and goodbye from me. Let's click this button.